think one of the problems when we come to deal with these issues of voluntary simplicity, well-being, the environment, is a lot of the academic research, I think, has missed the point. For example, in environment, 90% plus of academics look at the science and they look at the symptoms of what's wrong, but they very rarely study the causes. And I think at the heart of this is the fact that most universities stigmatize interdisciplinary research. If you want to be published in academic world, you need to be very specialized. You need to write for one of the main journals. It requires disciplines, really exclusive focus on a particular discipline, whereas the environmental challenges we face are completely interdisciplinary. We need to understand the science, we need to understand the social, economic, political, psychological, spiritual causes of the crisis we're in. We can't just take one little part and separate it. But universities are woefully equipped to deal with these complex, systemic, interdisciplinary problems. And especially the older universities. I was at Oxford and friends who are, Harvard and Stanford, great universities. But again, they're not set up for this type of research. And we live in a very complex system. Everything we do is embedded in many different areas. And unless we can see the connections between all these areas, I think it's impossible to make serious progress. Climate change is a human problem. I think we've all accepted that. And we can read about how bad it is. We can read about what's happening to the ice caps now. We can read about what's going to happen in the future. But we don't read so often about what are the actual fundamental causes of climate change. And the fundamental cause of climate change is the socio-economic, political system we live in, which has been developed, well, at some level over 1,000 years, but particularly since the Industrial Revolution. And it's caused by the set of tacit assumptions that we all have about what is success, what is growth, what is happiness, how should we live. And universities aren't so good at tackling these sorts of questions. I know there are some academics, some researchers that do, but I really think we need to have a collective debate involving a movement linking together education, politics, business, communities, different religions, to really collectively come together and find out some solutions. Because you can't just take one piece of it. You have to look at it all together.
So let's